Okay, that's pretty good. Can't see anyone without their hands up, so I won't ask the next question. That's pretty good. This couple of little stories. You know the little boy at the end who was giving us the tour of the school and the strawberries and showing us the worms? So his name is Nathan, and when he was 5 years of age, he had never spoken a word in his life. His parents had him on the autism scale, right at a very extreme of not being able to speak. And he hadn't said one word when he was 5 on his 5th birthday. His mother, Min, who was just in the film at the end when she gives him a hug, had went to doctors, had been all over America and California where they are to try and see what could be done. And there wasn't much hope. She went to one functional medicine doctor who said, look, I think what could be useful is a vegan or a plant-based diet. No processed food, just plants. And so she put him on that diet, and within 6 months of him just eating vegetables and fruits, he was talking, not normally because he had a bit to catch up on, but he was talking, learning, and within 2 years, by the age of 7, he was speaking normally. And now, if you see him now, he's 10. I mean, he could have his own TV show. He's that confident in front of the camera and speaking. Now, this is an incredible story. I mean, we didn't want to spend a lot of time on that in the movie because, you know, you go down that's a whole movie, that subject of autism and food. But it just goes to show that with parents who were prepared to try and do something and make an effort, that little Nathan was able to find his voice. Whereas so often, you can imagine that wouldn't happen, and the processed food would still be kept being served and fed, and it would have been not as happy a turnout. I think that the one thing I learned while I was making this movie is that if you include the kids in the process, and you saw this, if you get them out in the mud, in the dirt, playing with the worms, if you have them have some investment in the idea of growing, of nurturing, of harvesting, and if you can't do that, just having them involved in the process of choosing your vegetables, choosing the fruits at the farm, at the market, wherever it is that you source your produce, and then bringing them home in the kitchen and getting them involved. I think you can see that is quite an incredible way to engage children. Can I get a show of hands here for people that have children in the audience that include their kids in that process? Put your hand up if you're doing that with your kids. Now keep your hand up if it's working. Hands up, and then keep your hands up if it's working. Interesting. How about parents here who have kids that are not including them in the process? Anyone here whose kids are not in the kitchen helping and not cooking? Anybody? There's a few here, a few over here, a few here. So maybe there are some ideas there. Maybe that's some fun ways of bringing it about. I think that the idea of telling people what to do, of actually saying to people, you should do this and you should do that, I don't think that's a good idea. Hands up all the people in the audience who love being told what to do. How about all the people who love telling people what to do? Yeah, there's the problem right there. So we have to be very careful about this. And I know there's a lot of people in the audience who are health based and wellness and nutritionists and have very good meaning in terms of trying to help others. I think that we also have to be careful how we speak to people and how we communicate that message. And it's not telling people what to do, it's more sharing your own story. Speaking of sharing stories,